The Oyster Festival in Sedgefield. Now you see 'em, now you don't. And Comrades Champions.
My name's Bomber.
And I'm Chris.
You are listening to
This Week in Sedgefield.
You wouldn't believe it. We have a king in our presence. Bomber, how was the Medieval Fest?
It was great, thanks. Thanks very much. It was really good fun. We had it was a packed hall. Lots of people really went to town.
Oh, cool.
Dressing the part. I don't think there was one. In fact, there was one person who hadn't dressed up, but he was kind of ill. I think.
Oh, shame.
I think he came under duress.
Oh.
But yeah, it was really great. So many people dressed so brilliantly.
That's really fun.
I got to order people into the stocks and dish out punishment.
A normal Saturday, yeah?
Normal Saturday, yes. Wonderful food. Yeah, the catering was great. They had a couple of jesters who danced around. And yeah, lots of money raised for lions. And lions are brilliant.
Yes.
They spend it all within the local community, and not on themselves. They helping other people.
I'm in the local community too. Let me give the Lions a shout.
Yeah, no, they really did well.
Oh, brilliant! It was at the town
so
hall,
well organized. Right? It was at the town hall. Okay. Yeah, and we had a royal table, and we got to decide who should be punished and who shouldn't, and whether the rabble should shut up or not. And they had to bow and curtsy to us. And just to get salt. You know, that was a thing back then.
Oh, true that.
Salt was so valuable. So if they wanted salt on their food, they had to come and bow and scrape to us. And we decided, we can have a bit, not much.
And everyone's kind of into it and playing along.
Yes,
I think that is just so much fun.
It was really good fun.
And for a great cause, it's going to be cool to see what comes of that. And it does happen annually, or did you say every second year?
Every second year.
Oh, okay, cool. Yes. Okay, so we've got a few years before we can check that out again. And maybe there'll be a new king.
Maybe they will. I'm hoping that they don't democratically elect a king, because then I'll be out. Because I wasn't very nice.
That sounds. You're sounding very South African.
Yes.
Maybe African even, hey?
Yes, that's it.
Boy.
Yeah.
Great to see so many cool things happening in our town. And one of the biggest things that happens in our municipality is, of course, the Oyster Festival, which I've always thought it's kind of strange that we fixate on oysters. It's not something that I would generally eat or recommend eating. Do you like oysters?
I'm neither here nor there, to be honest. If somebody every now and then I get invited to an Oyster Fest such. They schmooze the media, which is nice. Okay. And when I'm saying media from Joburg, from Cape Town, from
and then you sneak
Cape,
in the back,
and because I'm a local newspaper guy, they say okay, you can in as well. And so sometimes you get to go and eat oysters, and so I'll never say no.
Oh, okay, fair enough.
But I don't like them enough to say I'll have them instead of a steak. Or something
fair
like
enough.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you know what? I think during this Oyster Festival, I'm going to do it. I'm going to try some.
I would.
Because maybe I've just never had it done right.
Yes.
I don't think I've ever actually had it.
Yeah, I think
might
they're a
be
bit
the
like
issue.
snails. I think they don't taste of anything except what you put on them.
Oh, fair enough.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Okay, no, that'll be worthwhile.
Yeah.
This year, it seems like there's a lot more going on for the Oyster Festival for us here in Sedgefield. It's awesome to see. I love this in the Edge, which has just come out. There's an entire page of everything happening with it. I don't know if that was the case last year, but I feel like I just missed it last year. Maybe I just wasn't paying attention.
Seemed to be quite low profile.
Yeah. Okay. It wasn't just me.
But this year they seem to be really going out there and banging the drum, the oyster drum, which is great. Yes. And you're right. It's so good that we've got events in Sedgefield. Sedgefield's part of Nysa municipality, but quite often we don't feel like we're part of it, or maybe it's just us.
Yeah.
But we've got a slow food and wine festival.
Oh, that's nice.
As part of the Oyster Festival that's happening at Scarab Market.
Oh, neat.
So
that's such a good space.
Wonderful.
Cool.
Yeah, and it really is good. They've got that big building where they've got the restaurant and craft beer and gin tasting already set up.
Oh, nice.
So now they've got a slow food and wine festival happening
during
the wine festival. And and
cool.
Live music
nice.
as opposed to dead music. A live band, because dead bands boring.
Not always as good. They don't always come back for the encore.
No, they don't. They don't. So I think it's going to be a great day.
That's cool.
And also at the same venue, is the Eden Classic Car and Motorcycle Show.
Oh, we mentioned that, and I've seen a few posters up for it. That does look cool.
Yeah,
and also said
great.
before, I've missed the George ones a bunch of times, and I always want to take the kids and always want to check it out, because there's something really special about seeing that, and especially with our part of the country where Sedgefield is like a big deal for classic cars,
isn't it? Just Joe. Yeah. I mean, we have a company called Classic Cars, Sedgefield Classic Cars.
That's true,
and they've got a huge bit of plot of land covered in cars, classic cars.
And people come from all over the country to come and check out what they've got. And I think this is another great opportunity for just that.
It really is. And they've got, I mean, there's so many enthusiasts. They've got some really special cars. Jaguar is a big feature this year.
Oh, wow.
And
that's going to be cool.
Not many of us can afford to buy a Jaguar.
But we can look at it.
So we can now go and look.
We can dream.
We can dream.
Oh, that is so cool. Hey, what a slice of history.
Yes, yeah. No,
I love that.
And it is really nice to have Sedgefield taking part in the Oyster Festival.
Mm-hmm.
You know, winter, we were talking about it earlier, winter is a quiet time normally. So it's nice to be part of this festival and have more people coming along to see Sedgefield.
Especially on days, I mean, we've just had a week of just banging weather with some berg winds and just like warm. I mean, we've got to the beach and got to playgrounds and stuff like that, me and the kids. And it's just been absolutely brilliant. And it's still a great time of year for it. I love that. So does that have something to do with the origins of the Oyster Festival? Why is the Oyster Festival a thing?
Well, it started years ago, and many people have asked, why don't they have it in summer? Because running the marathon in summer and the cycle and all that. But the whole idea of the festival was quite a few years ago. I think in the 90s, it might have even been in the 80s. I'm not too good at my history. They decided that winter was just too quiet for Knysna with regards tourism.
Tourism, yes.
So they already were running the marathon, not physically running, but the marathon was already
they had nothing else to do while running. What should we do? Oysters.
Maybe that's where they had the conversation. So they decided, well, look, around the marathon, which is a very, very big part of the Oyster Festival, let's form a festival and a winter festival to get the people in.
Yeah.
And then they thought, well, what does Knysna have that other towns don't really have?
Yeah.
And that's oysters. So it became the Knysna Oyster Festival.
Certainly one of the things, an interesting one to fix on. But it works. And it's as soon as you speak about the Oyster Festival, people know what we're talking about. Okay, so it's largely linked to that and bringing people in. That's great. And I didn't realize it went that way around with the marathon first, and then the festival kind of came after.
Yes.
That's
interesting. It did. Yeah.
A lot of people have been, even just this morning, heard of two people who are doing the marathon. Have you done it?
I've done the marathon and the half marathon. I think I've done the marathon about 3 times. And the half marathon probably also 3 times.
Oh, that's cool.
Times,
But would you say that running is your thing?
That's a bit of an in-joke. It's not. The history behind his question, listeners, is that I have been running since I was 34. But somebody stopped me recently and said, this running, it's not your thing, is it?
But you were running on the island, right?
I was
which
running
is very
on the
flat.
Island.
And
yes, yeah. So clearly I don't look like a runner.
At least while running.
Whilst running, yes.
Oh, man, that's funny. But you have, in fact, done the Comrades.
I have indeed, yeah.
And you wear your medal still.
I still wear my medal, yes. I had to take the running vest off after 2 months because my wife was starting to complain. Yeah, I did. Back in 2007, I managed to train up enough, and I ran the Comrades from Pietermaritzburg to Durban. It's a long way, but it's not predominantly. There's a lot of downhill. There's more downhill than uphill. And when you look at the size of my waistline, gravity is definitely my friend.
So you can just roll a bit of it.
So I did a down run.
Oh, very cool.
But not, this in this latest edition of the paper, we focus a lot on the Comrades because it happened this Sunday last.
That's right, yeah.
And we've got one local lady, Alison Jordan. She ran it for her 20th time.
What?
That's amazing.
That's absolutely incredible.
Times she's run the Comrades. Not all in the same week.
Oh, fair enough, yeah.
Every year.
Split it up a little bit.
Yes, split up annually.
Jeez.
I think she might have missed one or two when it was cancelled for COVID. But she did 20 times.
20 times, yeah. She's on the front page, right?
Her picture's on the front page and her story's on the back page.
And still actively running in the area. And do you know, are there a few people who did the Comrades?
Yes, yeah. There was another 4 that ran it, Sedgefielders that ran it.
Wow.
Yes, and wow. They did amazingly well. One of the guys, Hans van der Vettering, got a Bill Rowan medal, which means he did it over in 9 hours, under 9 hours.
Under 9 hours, okay.
Yeah. His wife, Ida, ran with her friend, Mattie Smith, and Mattie was running her first Comrade, so Ida saw
Mattie,
her through. Yeah.
Well done, Mattie. That's awesome.
They both got a bronze medal.
Oh, fantastic.
So,
I'll message her later.
Yeah,
so, well done. That's brilliant.
Gavin Yankees was another runner. He did his 8th Comrades.
Oh, very, very
and he got a Vic Clapham medal. Vic Clapham is when you get in between 11 and 12 hours.
Between 11 and 12?
Yeah, I don't know if Vic was there to clap him.
That is so long to run.
It is. It's a day out. It really is. Yeah.
Then a few days after, what happens to you after that?
Okay, after that, you go through this many hours
of
many
weeping,
days,
just crying.
You're crying in between telling people that you've run the Comrades Marathon. Anybody who will listen.
Yeah,
there are strange things that happen. Your toenails fall off.
No ways.
Yep, not everyone, but a lot of people.
Yeah.
It's because of that jamming into the front of your shoe. They go black and they come off. And then they grow again, so that's fine.
Whoa!
Yeah, it's crazy, and you feel very, very stiff. And all those chores that you've been saying to your spouse, I'll do it when I finish my Comrades training.
Yep.
She presents you with a list, and you say, "I'm still recovering." and
until the next
you recover
one.
For the next 2 months, or until you take your medal off.
There we go.
Whichever comes first.
Or until you start your training for the next one.
For the next one.
That's how you get out of it for 20 years.
Yep,
we're onto something.
Something brilliant. New here.
Ooh, yeah. But before we jump onto some other updates and things like that, there have been a few stories that I've seen about some, and one of our listeners actually sent it to me as well, about snakes washing up. In case people weren't terrified enough of great white sharks, we've had some snakes washing up.
Yeah, we've got the I think it's called the yellow-bellied sea snake. That's a strange name, I suppose.
Yeah.
But it's a sea snake with a yellow belly.
Okay.
And there's 3 or 4 being washed up on local beaches.
Oh wow. Okay.
A lot more
alive or.
Yes, they are alive.
Really? I thought they were all dead.
No, they're air breathers.
This changes things.
They're air breathers, yeah.
Okay.
They pretty much live in the sea, so they're not very happy to be on land.
Oh, okay.
So they're not sort of escaping the ocean or anything.
I'll show them the way back.
Yes.
Very happily.
No, well, you mustn't. You mustn't touch them, and you must keep your dogs away from them.
Oh, is it?
They're
okay.
very, very venomous.
Whoa. Okay.
They're not going to go out of their way to bite you. But if you prod it with a sharp stick or try and give it mouth to mouth or something like that, it could bite you. And their venom is highly toxic.
Really?
Really, really bad. Yeah. There's numbers in the Edge newspaper of people to phone.
Oh, okay. That's helpful. Yeah.
Because you should, if you see one, you should find them, and then they get them, send them to an aquarium, and then they get rehabilitated. I don't know if they get a massage or something like that, and then they get released back into the ocean and told never to darken our shores again.
There you go. With a kind
I think
goodbye.
the biggest problem are children and dogs, because most adults won't
just in
approach
general
a snake.
or with the snakes.
Oh yeah, with the snake. If you don't like your child, get it to go and hold the snake, or if you do like your child, keep it away from the snake and keep your dogs away from the snake as well. Yeah.
That's solid advice, man.
Yeah.
Thank you for that.
No extra charge for that.
Oh, brilliant. Okay, and that is in the Edge, and I'm definitely,
Yes,
I haven't
yeah,
read that story
yeah.
just yet, but I'm totally going to check it out because that one sounds
Yeah,
both
the
terrifying and
only
interesting.
one fatality ever in the world
Oh, neat.
that we
Okay.
know about.
Okay, cool. Let's not
so
add to
it's
those
not
numbers.
like, as I say, it's not like they slither up to you and bite you on the ankle whilst you're reading your book on the beach.
Yeah, not like
But-
those lazy puff adders that just
Yes,
kind of,
yeah.
We had one of those in our garden. Yeah, it was before one of the podcasts and we spoke about it. But that was
Yes.
great to phone the fire department and get them to help
to
out.
remove it. Yeah.
And they were great. And
aren't they the best?
Man, champions, hey. Very, very cool. Okay, let's get some updates on the municipality. What's been happening?
Okay, the municipality, as we speak, they are discussing the budget
At length.
So there's a council meeting going on as we're recording this. The mayor has to present the budget to the rest of the council.
Sure.
I did listen to a bit of the meeting, as I know you did. The start of the meeting, they were discussing the IDP, which is kind of the integrated development plan of the town over the next few years.
Okay.
And that's kind of very closely linked to the budget.
Yeah, it would be.
Because you're going to say, this is what we plan to do over the next couple of years.
Yeah.
And the budget says, this is how we're going to pay for it. So,
especially with, I mean, it would be great to hear what they say about those missing, I don't know if I can say missing funds for the Smutsville development and finding those lands and those, I don't know if that would factor into that.
Well, it's got to be featured. It is money that comes from national or provincial budget for the Smutsville houses.
Yeah.
But it has to be featured on the budget.
Okay.
And the last couple of years it hasn't. So that's why we've all been screaming because these guys have been waiting for so long. So it'll be interesting to see if that's on the budget and on the IDP. The money coming from province has to be featured on that.
Yeah.
If you don't spend the money, they take it back. Which is a good thing, I suppose.
No, fair enough.
Yeah.
And on the front page, we've got more on the municipal manager.
Oh, on Bali Sabola.
It's a story that keeps on giving, isn't it?
It is indeed. In fact, the story on the front page is now you see him, now you don't, because that's exactly what's been happening. So I'll have to go through it very quickly again. He was employed last year, January. He was at the time he was allegedly. Well, I suppose not allegedly now, because the court also found the three people that were finalized, he was the least qualified. So he shouldn't have been appointed. But by a council decision majority, they appointed him.
Sure.
The DA quickly took it to court and challenged the decision. But it took a long time.
These things do, huh?
They do. In May this year, the court ruled that the appointment was null and void. Yep, we did that last time. Then he appealed to that. So he was out and then he was back in because he appealed. So because you appeal, so the court threw that out a while later with costs to him. So that was a couple of weeks later or maybe a week later. So then when they threw it out, the council were told, so the mayor had to report to the council and say, okay, the court has thrown out his appeal. The council said, okay, we now resolve that he must leave his office, because they have to resolve things.
Yes.
He must leave his office with immediate effect, and we have an acting municipal manager in. Phew. So then the acting municipal manager
Instead
came
of a municipal
in.
manager who was acting.
Yes, he was acting like a municipal manager.
Like one. Yeah, okay.
So then there was a period of time where the acting municipal manager and the municipal manager both came to work, which
that's
caused
a
a
mess.
little bit of chaos because legal ramifications, as we discussed last time.
Yeah.
Who signs the document? If 3 months down the line, the document could be declared null and void. So the acting municipal manager took it to get legal advice, and said, "Look, we've got the municipal manager here. We've got acting. What do we do?"
Yeah.
And the the legal advice at the time was that the municipal manager, Ombali Sabola, had appealed the appeal.
Yes.
The court ruling on the appeal after the council had resolved that he should leave.
Yes.
So that resolution by the council was null and void.
Oi.
So he was once again officially municipal manager whilst his appeal was heard. The appeal was due to be heard in court on Tuesday, 2 days ago.
Yes.
But before it was heard in court that morning, the municipal manager declared that he was withdrawing his appeal.
Oh, boy.
So his appeal was null and void.
So he just didn't go through with it.
He just
basically.
didn't go through with it.
Oh.
So the court said, okay, well, now you're out, and they awarded the costs to him.
Oh, so he has to personally pay
He has
it.
to pay for the costs.
Whoa.
He has to pay for 2 councils.
Whoa.
That's 2 attorneys
Yes.
for province.
Ooh.
Because they obviously had them in court. They had them lined up. They were sitting on the starter blocks, not for the Comrades, but for the court case.
Yeah.
And then he kind of sends them an email or something. I don't know. I don't know what you send to the court.
A WhatsApp.
saying
Sorry,
he's-
guys, not coming.
Sorry, it's not happening.
Yeah.
And so the
Whoa.
court case. So he is officially out.
That's it.
Well, we don't know if that's it because we've been
never
saying that
actually-
so
it's-
many times.
Yeah, it's been that's it for a long time.
In the council meeting we're listening to this morning, they keep referring to the municipal manager.
Yeah, not acting.
Not acting municipal
but
manager.
just the
so
title.
I don't know who's there.
Okay.
So we'll wait and see.
Yeah, we saw it was actually streaming on Facebook, which
Yes,
was
it was
interesting.
streaming on
kind of with
Facebook,
video, where
yeah.
normally we're just listening, which is nice as well. I mean, that's great. But
So
it's cool to see.
they hadn't the acting municipal manager, the lady that was the acting municipal manager.
I can't remember her name.
Apparently, her name. Apparently, she is now going to be replaced. Her name is Mrs. Doniwa.
Okay, Ms.
Ms.
Doniwa.
Doniwa. So she was the director of development and planning, as far as I know.
Okay.
So Mrs. Doniwa,
Just
was
kind of
acting
overseeing.
municipal manager again until today's meeting,
Okay.
where I've been told
Yes.
they're going to replace her with another acting municipal manager.
Oh, another.
But we don't know who.
Okay. Well, I suppose
I don't
we're just
think
gonna
it'll
have
be
to see.
Mr. Sabola.
Maybe,
but who knows?
But you never know. You really
never
never
know.
know. After appeal, after appeal. Oh
Yes,
man,
yeah,
it's
that's
all
it.
gone a bit wild, and the council's a little bit sick.
Absolutely.
Which leads me on to a section that we haven't really spoken about much, but it's always in the Age, and it's always really valuable. And it's what do you call it? The Age on Health.
The Edge on Health.
Your
yeah.
AG Health, healthy age.
Yeah, we haven't really got the time to go deep into it, but
Yeah.
there's an
What's it about?
article this week called "How Safe Is Vaping?"
Vaping.
And it's quite an important thing because there's a lot of people, you know what vaping is. It's
Yes.
a little electronic type
E-cigarette.
tube, e-cigarette
Well,
type thing.
Kind of got away from that.
You fill it with liquid. I think it heats the liquid up in there. So I don't know.
Yeah.
And it's kind of replaced smoking. It's
Yes.
people who are giving up smoking replace the habit with vaping.
Yes.
But
Yeah, I mean, you see it all over the place, and teenagers and kids.
Yes,
like,
yeah.
or
And
teenagers,
it's kind
hopefully
of
just-
seen as the healthy version of
Yeah.
smoking, but it's such a new thing. And all the health practitioners are discovering that it's actually not that much healthier than
really?
smoking. Even if it is healthier, it might not be. There's something called popcorn lung
Sorry,
that we've heard
popcorn
about.
lung.
Popcorn lung. It's like your lungs getting lesions or something on there. And
Sounds like a nightmare.
yeah. It really
Sounds
is.
like a horror movie.
So it's one of those things, and well, you won't remember because you're younger than me, but I do remember a time
Yeah.
when on TV they would advertise a cigarette saying, most health practitioners prefer Lexington to any other cigarette.
What, can you imagine that now?
More sportsmen smoke Peter Stuyvesant than any other cigarette. That sort of thing. They used to say it, and we believed it.
Yes.
So it's the same with vaping. You presume, because
but the research isn't
it
out yet.
Yeah,
Whoa.
but
well, it's in now, isn't it?
The research is in now. So if you know people who vape, I don't want to be a scaremonger, but reconsider. Have a look at the article.
Yeah, check out I'm definitely going to check it out. I've got family members, I've got friends. That'll be very good to check out. Bomber, thanks so much for that. Hopefully we'll be healthier, and we'll all be healthy enough to run the next Comrades, so that we get out of our to-do lists.
It definitely will be, and I'll hold you to that.
Oh, thank you very much. Speaking of holding you to, I haven't got that coffee yet from all your Absolutely. Well, the one Absolutely.
Last time. I managed this time without one Absolutely.
I don't think there was. Yeah, I tried. Oh, there you said it. Yeah.
Oh, I said it.
Cashing in.
Okay, that'll be 2 coffees.
Man, it's been great. I'm looking forward to the Oyster Festival. Maybe we can even get some sound bites. If there are parts that you guys, listeners, are interested in, let us know. But that'll be awesome to check out. Bomber, thanks so much, man.
Thank you. It's been absolutely wonderful.
Absolutely.